Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirye Nashtakaya Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 10th chapter, Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka, text number 25 onwards. These are all the glorifications sung by all the ladies of Hastinapur from the rooftop. Yada hi dharmen tamodhyo nripa jivanti tatrashi satvatah kila dhatte bhagam satyam ritam dayam yasho bhavai rupani dadad yuge yuge. Whenever there are kings and administrators living like animals in the lowest mode of existence, the Lord in his transcendental form manifests his supreme power, the truth positive, shows special mercy to the faithful, performs wonderful activities, and manifests various transcendental forms as is necessary in different periods and ages. See, these ladies, they know all about Krishna, why he appears, in different ages, different periods he appears. They know everything. Nothing is hidden from them. Purport. As mentioned above, the cosmic creation is a property of the Supreme Lord. This is the basic philosophy of Ishopanishad. Everything is a property of the Supreme Being. No one should encroach upon the property of the Supreme Lord. One should accept only what is kindly awarded by Krishna. Therefore, the earth or any other planet or universe is the absolute property of the Lord. So that's why his name is Jagannath. He's the Lord of the whole universe, not just a little bitty planet or anything. He's the Lord of the whole universe. The living beings are certainly his parts and parcels or sons, and thus every one of them has a right to live at the mercy of the Lord, to execute his prescribed work. No one, therefore, can encroach upon the right of another individual man or animal without being so sanctioned by the Lord. The king or the administrator is a representative of the Lord to look after the management of the Lord's will. He must therefore be a recognized person like Maharaj Yudhishthir or Parikshit. Such kings have full responsibility and knowledge from authorities about the administration of the world. But at times, due to influence of the ignorance mode of material nature, the lowest of the material modes, kings and administrators, come into power without knowledge and responsibility. And such foolish administrators live like animals for the sake of their own personal interest. And besides other things, the devotees of the Lord or the faithful are persecuted by all means. All these symptoms indicate the time of an incarnation of the Lord to re-establish the principles of religion and to vanquish the mad administrators. So this is the reason that Krishna appears. He wants to re-establish the principles of religion in case the administrators have forgotten their proper duties. When he descends, he exhibits superhuman acts just to prove his supreme right, and the materialists like Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, and Kamsa are sufficiently punished. He acts in a manner which no one can imitate. For example, the Lord, when he appeared as Ram, bridged the Indian Ocean. When he appeared as Krishna, from his very childhood, he showed superhuman activities like killing Putna, Aghasur, Shaktasur, Kaliya, etc. And then his maternal uncle, Kamsa. So he does all this superhuman pastime just to show he is the Supreme Lord himself. He's not just ordinary person. And then at the same time, he performs all these pastimes to attract the devotees, to kill the miscreants, and for the future devotees to come for them something to talk about. So they can talk about his pastimes and get purified. So this is the main purpose of his coming. Aho alam shlagyatamam yadoh kulam, aho alam punyatamam madhurvanam, yadesh punsam rishabhashriya patihi, sujanmana chankramena chanjati. Oh, how supremely glorified is the dynasty of King Yadu, and how virtuous is the land of Mathura, where the supreme leader of all living beings, the husband of the goddess of fortune, has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So they are glorifying the dynasty of King Yadu, the land of Mathura, and where the supreme leader has taken his birth and wandered in his childhood. So in the Bhagavad Gita, personality of Godhead Shri Krishna has expressively given a description of his transcendental appearance, disappearance, and activities. The Lord appears in a particular family or place by his inconceivable potency. He does not take his birth as a conditioned soul, quits his body and accepts another body. His birth is like the appearance and disappearance of the sun. The sun arises on the eastern horizon, but that does not mean that the eastern horizon is a parent of the sun. The sun just appears, and in due course of time, he appears there, and it disappears at the western horizon. But sun is always existent. It appears and disappears to our eyes at a scheduled time. Similarly, the Lord appears in the universe just like the sun and again leaves our sight at another time. He exists at all time and at every place, but by his causeless mercy. When he appears before us, we take it for granted that he has taken his birth. Anyone who can understand this truth in terms of the statements of the revealed scripture certainly becomes liberated just after quitting this present body. So this truth is just we have to know this in truth, whatever activities he does. So if simply by knowing the transcendental nature of the birth and activities of the Lord, one can get liberation easily, we can just imagine what's in store for those who actually enjoyed the company of the Lord in person, as a family member or as a neighbor. We can just imagine their fortune. Where Krishna was simply present as a family member or as a neighbor. All those who were fortunate enough to associate with the Lord, the husband of goddess of fortune, certainly obtained something more than what is known as liberation. Therefore, rightly, the dynasty and the land are both ever glorious by the grace of the Lord. So this place, Mathura, Vrindavan, or other places where he performed his pastimes, like Dwarka, or Jagannath Puri, or Ayodhya, these places are eternally glorious. The people have been going there, they're getting purified. And purified is what? The purification is of consciousness. By going there, we understand we are just tiny servants of the Supreme Lord, nothing else. Nothing is in our control, especially even now when devotees are going to Jagannath Puri to attend Rath Yatra. I mean, this has been our experience all along. And every time we go, we understand Lord Jagannath is in complete control over there. Nobody else is controlling anything over there. And definitely we are not the controllers. We just go to serve. That's all. Text 27. Ahobat sware shasastiraskari kushastali pune yashaskari bhuva pashyanti nityam yad anugraheshitam Smitavalokam Swapatim Smayat Praja. Undoubtedly, it is wonderful that Dwarka has defeated the glories of the heavenly planets and has enhanced the celebrity of the earth. The inhabitants of Dwarka are always seeking the soul of all living beings, Krishna, in his loving feature. He glances at them and favors them with sweet smiles. The heavenly planets are inhabited by demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varun, Vayu, and the pious souls reach there after performance of many virtuous acts on earth. Modern scientists agree that the timing arrangement in higher planets is different from that of the earth. Thus, it is understood from the revealed scriptures that the duration of life there is 10,000 years by our calculation. 6 months on Earth is equal to 1 day on the heavenly planet. So facilities of enjoyment are also similarly enhanced, and the beauty of the inhabitants is legendary. Common men on Earth are very much fond of reaching the heavenly planets because they have heard that comforts of life are far greater there than on the Earth. But the celebrity of Earth has defeated that of heavenly planets because of Dwarka, where Lord Shri Krishna reigned as king. 3 places, namely Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka, are more important than the famous planets within the universe. So this is the position of Dwarka. Dwarka is even, of course, in this shloka it says it's more opulent than even the heavenly planets. But since it is a Vaikuntha planet, so obviously it is more opulent. The reason why it is more opulent is because Krishna himself ruled over that place. Where Krishna is there, it is said, Lakshmi Sahasrashata Sambrahma Sevya Manam. Thousands and thousands of Lakshmis are serving him. That Govinda I personally worship. So thousands of Lakshmis are there in Dwarka when Krishna is there. So what's the comparison of the of the opulence of heaven to the opulence of Dwarka? There is no comparison. But the opulence of Vrindavan is much more than the opulence of Dwarka. Much, much more. But it's all hidden. The opulence of Vrindavan, the Aishwarya of Vrindavan is covered by Madhurya, the sweetness. Because why? Srimati Radharani herself is there. From Radharani all the expansions come. All the Lakshmis are expansions of Radharani. So when Srimati Radharani is there, that opulence of Vrindavan is actually greater, much greater than even of Dwarka. But this opulence of Vrindavan is hidden. It's covered over by sweetness. With Krishna and Radharani, they don't want the opulence to like take over the sweetness of the pastimes. That's how opulent Vrindavan is. It is said, Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu. Every particle of dust of Vrindavan is Chintamani. Chintamani means this paras stone, the wish fulfilling. And every tree is a wish fulfilling tree. Every cow is a Surabhi cow that they can give anything that we want. Not just the milk, they can give anything. And the trees can give any fruit, anything that Brajavasis desire, they're ready to supply. But it's just that the Brajavasis, they don't desire anything except whatever they need for service of Krishna. So the trees are helpless. They cannot provide all the opulence because the Brajavasis, they don't want any. To give an example of the opulence of Vrindavan, when Srimati Radharani was living in Barsana and Krishna with Yashoda Maiya and Nanda Baba, they were living in Nandagaon. So actually, Radharani travels every day from Barsana to Nandagaon with her Sakhis to make breakfast for Krishna, to cook for Krishna. So every morning she goes. Why? Because once it happened that Radharani, she was very little. I mean, eternally she is little. She is 13 years and some days old, eternally. That's her eternal age. And Krishna is eternally 16 years old. I mean, exact if you want, I can find over 16 years and some days, some months, some days, and some hours. It's calculated up to that detail. So when she was very little, Radharani, so once Durvasa Muni came to Barsana, and we know how angry Durvasa Muni can get. But Radharani was playing with her Sakhis just at the outskirts of Barsana. And Durvasa Muni came there. And because Radharani was so sweet, such a sweet girl, So Durvasa Muni just was attracted by her beauty and he just sat there. And what was Radharani playing? She was she was playing this cooking part, and she was making the laddus out of clay. And she had made so many laddus. And Durvasa Muni came and sat there. So Radharani said, Baba, Baba, why don't you try one laddu? And Durvasa Muni looked at the laddu. It was made of clay. And he was like, no, 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 Lali, I'm okay. I'm full. I just had prasadam. I cannot eat much. No, 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 Radharani said, Baba, you have to try that. It's very sweet. I made it with my hands. And just saying like that, she pushed that laddu in the mouth of Durvasa Muni. And knowing Durvasa Muni, I mean, anybody would get scared. But Radharani is Radharani. So she pushed that laddu made out of clay in the mouth of Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni, no, no, no. And he was thinking, what is this? I'm going to eat laddu of clay now? What is this happening? And he was, no, 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 no. But Radharani pushed the laddu in his mouth. And as soon as he tasted that laddu, it was so nectarian because Srimati Radharani herself has made with her lotus hands. It was nectarian, it was full of rasa, full of sweetness. And Durvasa Muni said, I have never tasted such a wonderful laddu ever in my life. So then he blessed Srimati Radharani. Of course, Radharani doesn't need anybody's blessings, but as part of Leela. So he blessed her, saying, from now on, anything that you cook, and anybody who eats that, anything that you cook, it will be nectarian, and anybody who eats that cooking he will have all the fortune and he will never get diseased. He will always be healthy. And Durvasa Muni left. So now, sitting at Nandagaon, because these news travel fast, so Yashoda Maya heard that Radharani got this blessing from Durvasa Muni. And now Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, they are basically the king and queen of the whole branch. So Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, they were very friendly to Radharani's parents, Vishwanu Maharaj and Kirtida. So somehow Yashoda Maya convinced Kirtida that every day Radharani should come to Nandagaon and cook for Krishna. Because Yashoda Maya wants everything best for Krishna. Nothing should be less than the best. And if Radharani has this benediction that whatever she cooks and whoever eats that cooking, he will never get sick. So Yashoda Maya never wants her Lala to get sick. So even if Radharani has to come every day, so be it. So she made the arrangement. And Radharani would come every morning with her Sakhis and cook for Krishna. Obviously, it was Krishna's plan, so Radharani could come to Nandagaon and cook for him. And so he could get a chance to have some pastimes with her. So Yashoda Maya liked Radharani a lot. She loved her and she wanted Radharani to marry Krishna. But somehow, because that pastime was not supposed to happen openly, so Purnamasi was Yogmaya herself. She is like the eldest lady of Brajmandal who makes sure that everything goes according to the plan. All the pastimes go according to the plan. But before that, so Yashoda Maya wanted Radharani to marry Krishna. So one day it so happened that over there now Vrishvanu and Kirtida also, they wanted Radharani to marry Krishna also. So Vrishvanu Maharaj and Kirtida, they sent lots of jewelry to Yashoda Maya and Krishna and Nand Baba as a token of accepting Krishna as a son-in-law. Of course, they wanted, but it didn't happen because of different reason. That reason we'll discuss another time. So now all these jewels had come with beautiful pearls and diamonds and necklaces, and we can't even imagine. And just like other day when I posted this message from Prabhupada, no, and he was saying that in spiritual world, the jewelry, the gold is a flavored gold. It has some aroma also. So all these jewels, they had aroma as well. They were not just stones; they were conscious stones, and all the stones had aroma, some fragrance attached to it. So now Yashoda Maya and Nanda Baba, they got this whole box of jewels. Although they are the king of Braj, but now Shrimati Radharani is in Barsana, so she is the real goddess of fortune. So Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maya, they didn't have that many jewels to send back to as a return gift. So they were thinking now what to do. We don't have that many jewels, so what to do? Then Krishna came. And Krishna told Nanda Baba, Baba, what's wrong? Why you are so sad? Nanda Baba told him that this is a problem, that we don't have that many jewels that we can send as a return gift. Krishna said, don't worry, it's so easy. We are farmers, so we can put pearls and diamonds in the ground, and then the plants will come full of pearls and diamonds, and we can pluck those pearls and diamonds, and we can send them as a gift. Where is the problem? And Nanda Baba said, Lala, it doesn't happen like that. We cannot plant pearls and diamonds. Have you ever heard of somebody planting pearls and diamonds? Krishna said, this is what we do, right? We are farmers. So we maintain cows and we have fields where we grow crops. So we're going to grow crops of pearls and diamonds. So Nanda Baba said, okay, do whatever you want. Finally, he relented. So Krishna took these jewels that had come from Barsana, and he went with his friends and he planted pearls and diamonds in the field. And all the Sakhis, gopis, they were watching and they were laughing. Look at this boy, what is he doing? He doesn't know that we don't plant pearls and diamonds. So Krishna said, just watch. And he planted and he started playing, he started singing. And slowly, everybody saw the beautiful plants came out. And they were full of pearls and diamonds, and beautiful pearls and diamonds, more beautiful than what Radharani's parents had sent. So Krishna plucked all those pearls and diamonds. He gave them in a box to his father, Nanda Baba, and asked him, okay, now you can send them to Barsana. So now there was a competition. Now all the gopis saw that. Srimati Radharani also saw. Okay, then they said, okay, let's also plant pearls and diamonds in our backyard. And then we'll have more diamonds than Krishna does. So they also did in Barsana. But it so happened when they were watering it, only some thorns came out. There were no pearls and diamonds came out on the plants. And then they tried to dig, okay, at least let's get the original, but at the bottom they had only stones. So they were crying, now what happened? My parents are going to tease or chastise us, what did we do? So then Krishna, first he chastised, first he played with them, but then later on, he gave everybody a box full of diamonds from his garden. But this is the opulence of Vrindavan. It is hidden. If Krishna wants to exhibit it, he can exhibit to unlimited degree. But the opulence of Vrindavan is hidden. The opulence of Dwarka or Mathura is more exhibited, but the Vrindavan opulence is hidden. And here in the words it said that the opulence of Dwarka is much more than the heavenly planets. So what to speak of opulence of Vrindavan? So that's why devotees who want to go to Vrindavan, they don't even desire to go to heaven. They say going to heaven is a wastage of time for us. We don't want to go to heaven. We would be happy in Vrindavan. So that's what we have to aspire for. So for that, we have to purify our hearts, especially purify the hearts of the enjoying spirit, that we can be the enjoyer in the material world. We have to come to the platform of serving spirit, that we are servants of Krishna and we are servants of devotees. And then when we get to that serving spirit, when we get to that perfection of service, and then we will be eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So thank you all very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, the pastime which you just told, can you tell us the source for this? I mean, I never heard these pastimes except for the one you mentioned about Radharani making laddu. So last time, I think a year before, the previous one, you mentioned it in Barsana as well. But I never read that in any of these books. I'm not questioning it. I just wanted to know from
Actually,
where you read it.
this I've heard it, but it is there in Raghunath Das Goswami's book. It's no, not Raghunath. It's for in Rupa Goswami wrote that one. It's called something to do with Moti. I'm forgetting the name of the pastime or the book. He has written a whole book on this thing. I'll try to find out that book.
And by any chance, I mean, are you aware how those Mahatmas get to know about these pastimes? Either are these the realizations that they had by the mercy of the God, or is it something they read it from somewhere else?
No. These are realized. These pastimes are revealed to them. In fact, they're seeing these pastimes, or maybe they are in those pastimes. In their original Swarupa, they are in those pastimes, and then they are in this Rupa as Acharya, they're writing it down.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So we want those real jewels that Krishna grew. We don't want the artificial jewels that we find in oceans and the rivers, or in Chinese factories. So I guess I can stop here. So you all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.